Yo, what is going on, Team Tweedie? I hope you're all super well. Welcome to episode 19 of Hashtag Ask Tweedie, the show where you guys send in your football-related questions and I answer them to the best of my ability. If you want to send in your questions, Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, this YouTube comment section, and I'll try and get to as many of them as possible. This is completely unedited unless we do an Instagram live, which I'll do in the future, so make sure you follow me on Instagram. Every show or episode we do 3 questions, so we're going to kick it straight away. Hey man, I wanted to ask, how can I increase my speed of play? I've noticed the higher level I play, the faster the ball moves. The problem is I can't read the game as a midfielder because of how fast the ball moves and I have such little time to think. I've watched your football trials videos and you know where to move off the ball and what's going around you. How do you know how to do that at all times? I love this question because this gives me an amazing opportunity to tell you guys about game analysis, the most important thing that not enough footballers are doing. As you go up the leagues, like this player says, you're going to experience it to be firstly a lot harder, and secondly, you're going to have less, what does he say, time on the ball? Like the speed increases. And the reason that the speed increases is because players have a better knowledge of the game, so they know how to close down space. And because the speed increases, you have less time, you have less space. So if you're playing under 11s, you're going to have this much space to work with, times up by about 50 on an actual field. But now it's gone down to this, so you only have this much space to work in, and you have to adjust to that. Otherwise, you're going to lose the ball, you're not going to be able to keep track of defenders. Defenders are smarter, attackers are smarter, people are getting more experienced, and this is where game analysis really comes into it. I spent tons of time working on my own game analysis, I think since I was 16, maybe 17, and I noticed a massive difference from not analysing games to really going in depth with them, with different concepts and focusing on how to actually play as an attacking midfielder. And not enough players are doing it. If you're not playing, what you can also do is analyse professional players, but ideally you want to analyse yourself if possible, because that's where you're going to find your own mistakes. You're going to find out what you're doing wrong, because you could be positioning yourself like this in a game when you need to be positioning like that, so that you can see more of the fielder. And it's just all these little things that you need to pick up on. And I think not enough players know where to start with that game analysis, which is why one of the reasons I brought out the Kevin De Bruyne and the Neymar analysis. Link will be down below for that, to my website where you can buy it. But it gives you guys an outline of how you can analyze a football match, even if you're not playing in the positions as Kevin De Bruyne and Neymar. Even when I started doing it with my mentor, so he gave me the outline of how to actually analyze my matches. But before that, I wouldn't have a clue. I'd just go, this is good, this is bad, and I just split it into that, whereas it's a lot more than that. For those of you who have seen the Kevin De Bruyne and Neymar analysis, you'll see that I split it into 3 concepts, and I just focus on those 3 concepts for the whole match. And sure, there's millions of different things that you could look at, but it's important to focus on 2-3 things and then implement that into next week's match. So that's what I would say. I'm looking possibly in the future into releasing something for you guys, basically an outline of every position of how to analyze your position and the different things you should be looking for. That's a bit of a project, but maybe some stuff will come soon. We'll have to wait and see. But man, game analysis, that's how I improved. That's how I, what would you say, like adapted to the change of pace and the better players. Game analysis and also experience. The more that you train, the more that you play at a higher level, it's going to become easier and easier. So that's what I would say for that question. Question number 2. Oh, by the way, what do you guys reckon of the trim? Looking good? I'm from the future, by the way. This is currently Thursday. What do we got? Let's go with this one. Should you... This was from a YouTube comment on the last Ask Tweedie. Last Ask Tweedie. They said, hashtag Ask Tweedie. Should you train your own before team training? Maybe a 1-hour session. And then someone else went on to say, yeah, that they sometimes do it for 30 or 40 minutes. I I don't think I've ever done a session before team training, and the biggest thing is team training. I harp on about this to you guys all the time. Team training is where you're going to improve. You play a game once a week, that's where you're going to improve the most, right? So if we could put it on a scale, we got team training over here, and then, sorry. We got the game over here, that's where you're going to improve the most. Nothing is going to beat that. Then you got team training, right? So it goes game, team training, and then individual training. Because the game is obviously, that's where you need to perform. That's where, once you get a professional contract, that's what the president, the fans, they want results. They just don't want you to be all cool and have nice touches. They want you to win. They want you to score, keep goals out, whatever it may be. Team training is the next closest thing to a match. Individual training is something else, but team training, you're either doing positioning games, what else? Maybe you play a 5v5, 11v11, you're working on match-related things with realistic opponents. Individual training is a time for you to work on your weaknesses that you might not get in team training. So sometimes team training goes for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and you might not have worked on, I don't know, shooting that whole session. So you need to do some shooting in your own time. But the reason I say don't do it before a session is because do it after a session, or do it on a day off from team training, because you want to make sure that when you get to that team training, you're putting 100% in. And I ask you this, how many times have you guys gone and done an individual training before a match? I never have, because I want to perform in the match. So why don't you approach trainings like you would a match? Get it? Stick with that. It's simple. If you want to do that individual training, again, days off after training, so that if you're feeling okay, if it was a really light session, let's say it was a recovery session, you finished your hour and a half, and you're like, all right, I'm feeling good, I can do some free kicks, I can do a little shooting drill, and I'm done. Do it after the session, but man, don't do it before. That is just very silly. You're not going to be, you'll be slightly tired. Even if you guys say to me, oh, it's going to be a light session, I'm just going to be working on some first touch, who cares? You want to be 100% for that team training, because that's where you're going to improve and be ready for the match. Next question. Get it into your head, guys. I've been asked that one a few times. Next one. Yo, Sheldon, I've been in a bad run of form lately, and I'm a much better player than I have been for the... And I'm a much better player... Oh, okay, so... Yeah, and I'm a much better player than I have been for the last few games. Have you got any tips on how to recover from this and get my form and confidence back? I started this season really well, but I'm not happy with my form. So basically, how can you get your confidence back? Wow. Okay. For me, of course there's been times where I've had a lack of confidence, but I think with my mindset, I'm not a confidence player. I'm just a player that enjoys football. And for me, I tell you guys this all the time, I'm out there to enjoy it, have fun with friends, and love football. I'm not there to be like, okay, this is what we got to do. Okay, go. It's different for me, and I think that's something that's beneficial for me, and maybe that's not you. Don't just change to be like me. So, of course, if I'm in a game, like for example, 2 days ago, I had a poor session. 2 days ago, I think. I had a poor session, and I just kept misplacing passes. I was poor. It just wasn't good. And how did I recover from that? Well, I kind of just got on with the game. I tried to put the mistake in the back of in the back of my mind, because once you start dwelling on a mistake, I've had this problem before where it gets worse and worse and worse and worse, and the more that you put that mentality into your head, the more it's going to actually come out and be real for you. I saw something really interesting the other day. It was Floyd Mayweather, the boxer, who fought against Conor McGregor, and it was a video on Facebook. Facebook, but it's also on YouTube. Look up Floyd Mayweather self-talk. I thought this was really, really interesting. Literally, pause this video, go watch it, and then come back. Done? Cool. Okay, welcome back. So, what you saw in that video is he's saying that he's the best. He's saying, I'm a champion. Nobody's going to beat me. I'm working the hardest. I'm the best. And I showed this video to Alon. This was like a month ago. And we just agreed that this was amazing. It's not cocky. but it's putting himself in a state of mind where he thinks he is the greatest. And I'm pretty sure Ronaldo has the same mindset as well. But, you know, if you tell yourself you're the greatest and you truly believe it, I haven't done it, but I believe that you would perform. And I'd love to get into that stuff of self-talk. I just can't really pump myself up to do it. I think it's an amazing tool that you can use. So maybe I'll look into guides on YouTube of how to do self-talk and then learn from that. But man, there's all these different techniques to gain confidence. It just depends on the type of player that you are. I think that self-talk one is amazing, except I've not had any experience in it yet. I'd love to let you know what the results are. And if you're going to go and do it, let me know in the comments below, and then send me a message sometime letting me know again whether it worked or not, because it's so interesting to hear the thoughts that he puts in his head. And at the end of the day, if you're not performing, it's only your mindset. Because if you truly think that you can play at this level but you're performing at this level, all it is up here. You're putting yourself down to this level. If you can talk yourself up to there, maybe that's the difference. I'm not 100% sure, but I thought that was a really awesome clip. So if you haven't checked it out again, go and check it. It's sick. And I might even start doing that pretty soon. So anyway, guys, that is going to conclude episode 19 of #AskTweedie. What else do I want to say? Yeah, if you haven't got your Kevin De Bruyne and Neymar match analysis, the link will be in the description. Game analysis, again, one of the biggest things in football that so many players are missing out on. I'm bringing that to you guys. Not only will you be learning a ton, but you'll be supporting me in my journey. So thank you very much if you purchased that. Let me know with an Instagram message. Subscribe, join the #AskTweedie family. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.